chosen one. If you feel strangely exhausted right now, or if you have a pressure behind your eyes that sleep cannot fix, do not ignore it. That is not a headache. That is spiritual jet lag. Exactly 2 hours ago, God paused the timeline of your life. He put your reality under divine anesthesia to perform an emergency surgery on your destiny. You were heading towards a trap the enemy set for tomorrow, so God stopped the clock to cut it out of your path today. The surgery is successful, but the anesthesia is just wearing off. That is why you feel this heaviness. You are waking up in a new timeline, and your spirit is disoriented. I need you to lock your focus on this voice right now. Do not let your mind drift. You are in the recovery room of heaven, and I am about to give you the instructions to keep your new timeline secure. If you drift off now, you risk tearing the stitches God just sewed. I know exactly what you have been feeling in the last 24 hours. You have been trying to act normal, walking through your house, maybe standing in your kitchen staring at the fridge light, or sitting in your car with the engine off, and you felt a sudden wave of disconnection. It felt like you were watching a movie of your life instead of living it. That is not dissociation. That is displacement. It is the first symptom of what I call spiritual jet lag. When God pauses Chronos time to insert Kairos destiny, your physical body lags behind your spirit. You are literally in two places at once. Before I explain exactly why God stopped the universe for you, I need you to commit to staying with me until the very last second of this message. This is not for the algorithm. This is for your survival in this new season. By the end of this transmission, I am going to give you the 24-hour static protocol to stabilize your environment. I am going to reveal the 7 forms of confrontation that will try to drag you back to the old timeline. And finally, we will seal this surgery with an activation ceremony that locks you into your new future. If you leave before the seal is set, you leave the operating room with your spirit open and vulnerable. Do not do that. Stay. Receive the full download. Now, check your spirit against these 3 specific symptoms. This is how you know for a fact that you were part of the 2-hour interruption. The first symptom is the temperature shift. At some point today, did you feel a sudden chill that had nothing to do with the weather? Or perhaps a sudden, intense heat rising up the back of your neck? That was the friction of the timeline shift. When a space shuttle re-enters the atmosphere, the friction creates heat. When God pulls you out of a failure timeline and inserts you into a breakthrough timeline, the spiritual friction registers in your nervous system. You are not getting sick, you are re-entering. The second symptom is the time distortion. You looked at your phone and it was 1 o'clock. You felt like you blinked, looked back, and it was 3 o'clock. Or the opposite happened. Minutes felt like hours. You felt trapped in a single moment. This is because your internal clock is synced to heaven, but your external clock is synced to earth. During the 2-hour pause, God suspended the laws of physics around you. Your spirit knows this, which is why you feel out of sync with the world. You are walking fast when everyone else is slow. You are silent when everyone else is loud. You are vibrating at a frequency that this world does not recognize. The third symptom is the most important one. It is the phantom silence. You have been waiting for a text, an email, or a sign from someone, and suddenly, today, you stopped caring. It was like a switch flipped. Yesterday, you were anxious about it. Today, there is just silence. A heavy, thick silence. This scares you because you think you have lost your passion. You have not. That silence is the sound of the enemy being muted. You need to understand the biblical mechanics of what just happened to you. This is not a metaphor. This is a legal precedent established in the book of Joshua, chapter 10, verse 13. The scripture says, "The sun stood still, and the moon stopped, until the nation avenged itself on its enemies." But most people miss the deeper technology in this verse. The Hebrew word used for stood still is dorm. Everyone thinks it just means to stop moving, but dorm means something much deeper. It means to be silent, to be dumb, to hold one's peace, to cease all function. When Joshua prayed, God did not just grab the sun and hold it. He commanded the entire functioning system of the solar system to go silent. He put the universe on mute. He imposed a divine dorm over the enemies of Israel. The sun could not set, the darkness could not come, the enemy could not hide. The entire machinery of war that was set against Joshua was frozen in place. That is what happened to you 2 hours ago. God looked at the trap the enemy had set for your finances. He looked at the ambush waiting in your relationships. He saw that if the sun went down on your life today without intervention, you would not survive the night. So, he spoke dorm over your reality. He silenced the demons whispering in your ear. He froze the bank accounts that were draining. He paused the mouths of the people speaking curses over you. For 2 hours, heaven enforced a total lockdown on your life. That pressure you feel behind your eyes, that is the residual energy of God holding back the floodwaters. That exhaustion, it is because your spirit was standing in the court of heaven while your body was walking on earth. You are tired because you have been fighting a battle you did not even see. But here is the question you are asking. Why? Why did God go to such extreme lengths? Why stop the sun and the moon for you? You think he paused time to hand you a blessing. You think he stopped the universe to drop a bag of money on your doorstep or to bring your soulmate into your life. You are wrong. If that is what you think, you are in danger of misunderstanding this entire season. God did not pause time to add something to your life. He paused it to take something away. The truth is much darker and much more painful than a simple blessing. He stopped the universe to perform an action that you have been too afraid to do yourself. He stopped it to cut something off. And what he removed is the only thing that has been keeping you alive. You have been praying for addition. You have been begging God for the multiplication of your finances, the increase of your influence, and the expansion of your territory. But God does not begin a new timeline with addition. He begins with subtraction. The 2-hour pause was not a download of resources. It was a surgical extraction of a spiritual cancer that has been secretly feeding on your destiny for years. You think you lost that relationship last week. You think you lost that job opportunity by accident. You think the silence from your friends is a sign of rejection. It is not. That is the sound of the scalpel. God stopped the universe to sever you from a timeline that was leading to your destruction. He saw what you could not see. He saw that the person you were crying over was an anchor, not a sail. He saw that the job you wanted so badly was a golden cage that would have silenced your prophetic voice within 3 years. He saw that the comfort you were clinging to was actually a slow-acting poison. So he did what any good surgeon would do. He put you under anesthesia, that spiritual jet lag you are feeling, and he cut it off. I need you to understand the violence of this grace. We love to talk about the God who gives, but we are terrified of the God who takes away. Yet, right now, your survival depends on the taking away. Imagine a mountain climber who is slipping off a cliff, held up by a single rope. But that rope is tangled around a heavy stone that is dragging him down. For the climber to survive, someone has to cut the rope that holds the stone. The climber feels the snap. He feels the sudden loss of weight. He might even scream because he was attached to that stone. But that cut is the only reason he is not falling into the abyss. That is where you are. The heaviness you feel in your chest right now is not depression. It is the shock of the cut. You are grieving the stone that was trying to kill you. You are mourning the loss of a parasite. This brings us to the biblical mechanics of your pain. You need to look at John chapter 15, verse 2, with fresh eyes. Jesus says, "Every branch in me that does not bear fruit he takes away, and every branch that bears fruit he prunes, that it may bear more fruit." You have heard this verse 1,000 times in Sunday sermons, but you have missed the terrifying precision of the Greek word used here. The word for prunes is kathairo. It does not just mean to trim a few leaves. It means to cleanse by purging. It implies a radical purification. Notice the pattern. God cuts the dead branches, yes, but he also cuts the living, fruitful branches. This is the mystery that has been tormenting you. You are asking, God, I was faithful. I was bearing fruit. I was doing everything right. Why did you cut me? Why did you allow this loss? Here is the answer. You were not cut because you were failing. You were cut because you were succeeding, but your success had hit a ceiling in the old timeline. The old version of you, the version attached to those people, that mindset, that environment, had reached its maximum potential. God saw that you were about to enter a season of explosive growth, but your current structure could not support the weight of that glory. So he paused time to kathairo you. He stripped you back to the bark. He removed the excess foliage, the dead weight, and even some good things that were occupying space meant for great things. The gardener does not prune the tree to hurt it. He prunes it to channel all the sap, all the life force, into the few branches that are destined to produce the highest quality harvest. You feel naked right now. You feel exposed. You feel like you have been reduced. But in the eyes of heaven, you have not been reduced. You have been concentrated. But I know the question that is screaming in your mind right now. You are saying, if this was God, why does it hurt so much? If this person was bad for me, why do I miss them? If that job was a trap, why do I feel so empty without it? This is the third symptom of your surgery. It is called spiritual phantom pain. In medicine, when a person loses a limb, they often feel itching, burning, or cramping in the arm or leg that is no longer there. The limb is gone, but the neural pathways in the brain are still wired to receive signals from it. The body has not yet accepted the reality of the separation. You are experiencing phantom pain in your soul. You have been severed from a toxic timeline, but your emotions are still wired to it. You reach for your phone to text that person, and for a split second, you forget they are gone. Then the reality hits, and it aches. You wake up getting ready for a routine that no longer exists. You catch yourself worrying about a problem that God has already removed, but your mind is still running the anxiety program out of habit. Listen to me. This pain is not a sign that you made a mistake. It is not a sign that you should go back. The pain is the proof that the connection was deep and the surgery was real. The enemy wants to use this phantom pain to trick you. He wants you to interpret the pain as a signal to return to the vomit. He whispers, "Look how much you are suffering. It must mean you were supposed to stay." That is a lie from the pit of hell. Do not confuse the pain of healing with the pain of dying. The pain you felt in the old timeline was the pain of decay, slow, numbing, and endless. The pain you feel now is the pain of an incision, sharp, intense, but temporary, and it leads to life. I want you to do something right now, in the privacy of your own mind. Do not move your body. Just shift your internal gaze. Visualize the thing, or the person, or the situation that God just removed from your life. See that empty space where they used to be. It probably looks like a hole in your chest. It feels cold. It feels hollow. Now, instead of trying to fill that hole with a distraction, instead of scrolling through your phone to numb the ache, I want you to speak to that empty space. Say this in your spirit. This emptiness is not a void. This emptiness is a womb. This space was cleared for something that is too big to fit in my past. Hold that image. The emptiness is prepared ground. God did not cut you to kill you. He cut you to make room. But here is the danger. The surgery is physically complete, but the recovery is just beginning. You are currently in the most vulnerable state a chosen one can ever be in. You are essentially an open spiritual wound, walking around in a world full of bacteria. The anesthesia has worn off, the severance is done, but the stitches are fresh. Most people fail the test right here. They feel the pain of the cut, they panic, and they try to rush out and fill the void with the first thing they see. They try to stitch themselves up with cheap thread. If you do that, if you try to replace what God removed before the appointed time, you will not just rip the stitches, you will infect your entire future. You have exactly 24 hours to stabilize your spiritual environment before the enemy realizes what just happened and launches a counterattack to infect your wound. You need a specific set of instructions to survive this transition. You need to know how to seal the room, how to sanitize your input, and how to stand still while your spirit knits itself together. I am about to give you the 24-hour static protocol. This is not a suggestion. This is a mandatory survival procedure for anyone who has just undergone timeline surgery. If you skip a step, the bleeding will start again. The bleeding will start again if you do not stabilize the atmosphere immediately. You are currently standing in the intensive care unit of the spirit realm. The surgery was a success, but your immunity is zero. The old timeline is trying to infect the new one, and the enemy is watching for a single drop of blood, a single complaint, a single phone call, or a single moment of panic to track your location. You must go dark. You must initiate what I call the 24-hour static protocol. This protocol is not a modern invention. It is an ancient spiritual technology recorded in the book of Isaiah, chapter 26, verse 20. The scripture says, "Come, my people, enter your chambers, and shut your doors behind you. Hide yourself, as it were, for a little moment, until the indignation is past." You need to understand the Hebrew word used here for chambers. It is keda. It does not just mean a bedroom. It refers to the innermost part of the tent, the secret place where valuable treasures are stored, or the bridal chamber where a marriage is consummated. It is a place of total intimacy and total exclusion. God is telling you that when the timeline shifts, when the indignation or the shaking is happening outside, you do not run out to face it. You go into the cheder. You shut the door. You create a static environment where nothing comes in and nothing goes out. The first step of the protocol is radical silence. Your natural instinct right now is to find relief by talking. You want to call your best friend and say, "I feel so strange today." You want to text your mother and say, "I think I just lost everything." You want to post a cryptic quote on social media about new beginnings. Stop. Do not let a single word leave your mouth about this shift for the next 24 hours. Here is why. When you speak, you release a frequency. Right now, your spirit is tender. If you speak to someone who is still anchored in your old timeline, their response will contaminate you. They will say things like, "Are you sure that is wise?" Or, "Maybe you are just tired." Their doubt will act like a virus. In your open wound, you must seal your lips. Imagine, right now, a heavy golden seal being placed over your mouth. Visualize it locking into place. This is not suppression, it is containment. You are keeping the power inside until it stabilizes. The second step is input fasting. You are chemically addicted to information, but right now, information is bacteria. For the next 24 hours, you must starve your eyes and ears. Do not turn on the news. Do not scroll through the feed. Do not listen to sad music that triggers memories of what you just lost. Every time you scroll, you are inviting thousands of voices into your recovery room. You are letting strangers walk through your cheda with muddy shoes. You need a sterile environment. If you feel the itch to pick up your phone, I want you to visualize that phone turning into a stone in your hand. It is heavy, cold, and dead. Put it down. The world will still be there tomorrow. But your peace might not be if you expose it to the radiation of the world right now. The third step is the inventory. This is the most painful part, but it is necessary. In the silence, you must look at what is left. The surgery removed things. There are empty spaces in your life now. I want you to perform a mental action with me. Do not move your body. Just use your mind. Imagine you are walking into the room of your heart. It used to be crowded with people, noise, and clutter. But now, after the surgery, there is a large, empty space in the center. The furniture is gone. The noise is gone. Do not try to fill it. Do not panic at the echo. Just stand there in your mind and look at the empty floor. Say to yourself, this is not loss. This is capacity. God cleared this floor because He is bringing in heavy furniture that needs solid ground. I need you to take this seriously because I have seen what happens when a chosen one refuses the protocol. Let me tell you about a woman we will call Sarah. 8 months ago, she went through the exact same shift you are in now. God paused her timeline. He severed a relationship that she thought was her destiny, and He blocked a promotion she had worked 5 years for. It was a brutal surgery. But Sarah did not go into the cheda. She panicked. The moment the anesthesia wore off, she went onto social media and announced her new season. She called 3 different friends to vent about how unfair it was. She tried to fill the void immediately by applying for 10 different jobs in a panic. She did not give herself 24 hours of static. She invited the chaos back in. The result was tragic. The friends she called gave her bad counsel that led her back to the toxic relationship. The panic applications she sent out landed her in a position that was worse than the one she left. She tore the stitches. The infection set in. Instead of a 40-day transition, she spent 8 months wandering in a wilderness loop, relearning the same lesson because she could not sit still in the silence. Do not be Sarah. Be the submarine that goes silent and deep to avoid the radar. Be the seed that stays buried in the dark soil until the roots are strong enough to push up. Type "I am silent" in the comments right now as a prophetic act. By typing it, you are signing a contract with your own spirit. You are declaring that for the next day, you are a vault that cannot be cracked. You are protecting the surgery. But listen to me closely. You have secured the perimeter. You have shut the door on the outside world. You have silenced the external voices. You think you are safe. You are not. Because the greatest danger to your new timeline is not coming from the outside. It is not coming from your friends, or your phone, or your enemies. There is a traitor hiding inside the room with you. There is a spy that has been planted in your own mind, waiting for the moment you are alone to strike. And this traitor does not attack your future. It attacks your memory. The spy hiding in your mind is not a demon of fear. It is not a spirit of doubt. It is something much more subtle and much more dangerous. It is a corrupted file in your memory banks. You are bracing yourself for an attack on your future. You are standing guard at the door, waiting for the enemy to throw a new obstacle in your path. But the enemy is not attacking your future. He is editing your past. This is the recall trap. The moment God severed you from that toxic timeline 2 hours ago, the enemy realized he could no longer touch you physically. You are out of range. So he changed his strategy. He knows he cannot stop you from moving forward, so he is trying to convince you to turn around voluntarily. And the only way to do that is to make the hell you just left look like heaven. Right now, in the silence of your recovery room, you are starting to get flashes of the past. But they are not accurate. They are deep fakes. You suddenly remember the good times with that person who betrayed you. You remember the security of the job that was killing your soul. You remember the comfort of the habits that kept you broke. The enemy is superimposing a filter over your history. He is highlighting the moments of pleasure and deleting the years of pain. He is playing a highlight reel of a game you actually lost, trying to convince you that you were winning. You need to see this pattern in the scripture. It is the exact same psychological warfare used against the Israelites in the wilderness. Look at Numbers chapter 11, verse 5. The people have just been delivered from 400 years of brutal slavery. Their backs are scarred from whips. Their children were thrown into the Nile. They cried out for death because the labor was so hard. But look at what happens the moment they hit the uncertainty of the wilderness. They say, "We remember the fish which we ate in Egypt freely, the cucumbers and the melons and the leeks and the onions and the garlic." Notice what they remembered. They did not remember the bricks. They did not remember the whips. They did not remember the screams. They remembered the onions. They remembered the flavor. The enemy edited the movie. He cut out the slavery and left in the buffet. He used the memory of a cheap sensory pleasure to try and lure them back into expensive spiritual bondage. That is exactly what is happening to you right now. You are sitting there, feeling the emptiness of the surgery, and a thought creeps in. It says, maybe it wasn't that bad. Maybe I overreacted. Maybe I should just send one text to check on them. Maybe I should try to get my old position back. That is the trap. The moment you entertain that thought, you are engaging with a lie. The onion is not worth the whip. But why is this trap so effective? Why does a chosen one, who has seen the glory of God, long for the garlic of Egypt? This brings us to the shadow work. We need to have an uncomfortable conversation right now. You need to admit something to yourself that you have been hiding from God. Part of you wants to go back. I know you prayed for freedom. I know you asked for this breakthrough. But there is a shadow side of you that is terrified of it. Because in Egypt, even though you were a slave, you knew the rules. You knew what time to wake up. You knew what to eat. You knew who your master was. There was a twisted comfort in the predictability of your suffering. You did not have to think. You did not have to lead. You just had to survive. But in this new timeline, in this promised land God has shifted you into, there are no masters. There is no script. You have to wake up and decide who you are. You have to trust God for manna that you cannot see yet. You have to take responsibility for your own power. And that terrifies you. The reason the recall trap works is not because the past was better. It works because the past was familiar. You are confusing familiarity with safety. You are confusing the absence of conflict with peace. The knot you feel in your stomach right now when you think about the future, that is not a warning sign of danger. That is the vertigo of expansion. You are standing on the edge of a destiny so big that your old identity cannot map it. So your brain is frantically trying to run back to the small, cramped cage where it felt safe. You must confront this fear. You must admit, I am not missing times them asterisk. I am missing the version of times me, times who didn't have to be brave. We are going to dismantle this spy right now. We are going to perform a memory detox. I need you to do this mental work with me. Do not close your eyes, stay alert, but turn your focus inward. I want you to pull up that specific memory that has been haunting you today, the one that makes you want to go back. Maybe it is the memory of a person's smile, or the feeling of a paycheck, or the comfort of a routine. See it clearly. The enemy has painted it in bright, warm colors. It looks inviting. Now, I want you to freeze that image. In your mind, walk around to the back of that memory, like you are looking behind a stage prop. Look at what is supporting that image. Look at the price tag attached to it. What did that smile cost you? Did it cost you your self-worth? Did it cost you your peace at 3 in the morning? What did that paycheck cost you? Did it cost you your purpose? Did it cost you time with your children? What did that comfort cost you? Did it cost you your destiny? See the rot behind the image. See the chains attached to the onions. Force your brain to reassociate that memory with the pain it actually caused, not the pleasure the enemy is highlighting. Say this to your spirit. That is not a home. That is a grave. I am not going back to the grave. Hold that realization. Let the false nostalgia evaporate. The spy has been exposed. The corrupted file has been deleted. You are no longer looking back at Egypt with longing. You are looking at it with clarity. It was a house of bondage, and the door is shut. You have secured your internal world. The traitor is gone. The silence in your recovery room is now real, pure peace. You have survived the internal sabotage, but do not get comfortable. You have handled the enemy inside, but you need to look out the window of your spirit. The atmosphere is shifting again. The surgery is done, the recovery has begun, but the old timeline is not going to let you leave without a fight. I see shapes moving in the mist outside your door. The enemy realizes that the recall trap failed. He realizes you didn't take the bait of memory. So now, he is sending the heavy artillery. He is dispatching the ghosts of the old timeline. There are 7 of them, and they are marching toward your new reality right now. You have deleted the corrupted file. You have silenced the internal spy. But now, you must look outside. The mist is clearing, and the shapes moving toward you are not random shadows. They are calculated interceptions. You are about to face the 7 forms of timeline rejection. This is not just spiritual warfare. This is physics. When a space shuttle tries to leave the Earth's atmosphere, gravity fights back the hardest right before the breakthrough. The old timeline does not want to let you go. It wants to reclaim its property. To defeat these ghosts, you must understand the law of collision recorded in Amos chapter 9, verse 13. The scripture says, "Behold, the days are coming, says the Lord, when the plowman shall overtake the reaper, and the treader of grapes him who sows seed." You have heard preachers say this verse is about abundance and acceleration, and it is. But look at the mechanics. For the plowman to overtake the reaper, he has to move so fast that he literally crashes into the harvest of the previous season. The Hebrew word used here for overtake is nagash. It means to come near, to approach for battle, to collide. God is saying that your new timeline, the plowman, is moving with such velocity that it is going to collide violently with your old timeline, the reaper. This collision creates heat. It creates conflict. It creates resistance. The ghosts you are about to see are the debris from this collision. They are the immune system of your old life, trying to reject the transplant of your new destiny. You will face 7 specific forms of this rejection in the next few days. You need to recognize them, name them, and dismantle them, or they will drag you back. The first form is the sudden guilt. This is the first ghost that walks through the door. Right now, as you feel the peace of your new timeline, a heavy, sinking feeling hits your stomach. It is the feeling of leaving people behind. A voice whispers in your ear, "Who do you think you are? You are leaving your family? You are leaving your friends? You think you are better than them?" This is survivor's guilt. The enemy knows you have a good heart. He knows you are a giver. So he weaponizes your empathy against you. He tries to make you feel like a traitor for growing. He wants you to believe that your elevation is an act of betrayal against those who are staying in the valley. Recognize this ghost. That heaviness is not conviction from God, it is manipulation from hell. God did not call you to stay in the sinking ship to comfort the drowners. He called you to get into the lifeboat so you can come back and save them later. You cannot help anyone if you drown with them. I want you to perform a mental action to banish this ghost. Visualize a cord connecting your navel to the people you feel guilty about leaving. It is a thick, gray cord of false responsibility. Now, in your mind, see the sword of the Spirit coming down and severing that cord. Watch it snap. Say to yourself, "My growth is not a betrayal. My breakthrough is their only hope." Release the guilt. You are not abandoning them. You are preparing a table for them. The second form is the zombie relationship. This is the most suspicious ghost. Within 24 hours of you accepting this new timeline, someone from your past will reach out. It is almost clockwork. An ex, a toxic friend, or a family member who has not spoken to you in months will suddenly text you. They will say, "I was just thinking about you," or "Hey stranger." Do not be flattered. Be suspicious. This is not a coincidence. This is a tracking beacon. The spirit behind that relationship sensed a disturbance in the force. It sensed that you were breaking free. And it sent a zombie, something dead that is walking to try and tether you back. They do not want you. They want your energy. They want to re-establish the connection to drain your new momentum. If you reply, if you engage, if you even entertain the nostalgia, you reauthorize the old timeline. You give the zombie permission to eat your new fruit. The strategy here is the corpse check. When that text comes, ask yourself, does this person fit in the vision God showed me for the next 10 years? If the answer is no, they are a corpse. Do not water a dead plant. Do not reply. Your silence is the funeral service they never had. Let the dead bury the dead. The third form is the financial glitch. This ghost attacks your security. You have just stepped into a new level of faith. You are feeling expansive, and suddenly a bill arrives that you did not expect. The car breaks down. A client cancels. A strange fee appears on your account. The enemy uses this to trigger a poverty mindset. He wants you to look at that expense and say, "See, I cannot afford this new level. I should go back to being safe." He wants you to panic. He wants you to react emotionally to a mathematical problem. Recognize it. This is not a sign of lack. This is a toll booth. You are crossing a border into a new kingdom, and the enemy is demanding a tax, hoping you will turn the car around. Do not turn around. Here is your countermove. It is called the zero reaction. When the financial hit comes, do not gasp, do not complain, do not vocalize fear. Look at the bill or the problem with stone-cold eyes. Handle it if you can, or pray about it if you cannot, but do not let it enter your spirit. Treat it like a nuisance, not a crisis. By refusing to panic, you prove to the spiritual realm that your trust is not in your bank account, but in your source. You pass the test, and the glitch will vanish as quickly as it came. The fourth form is the imposter syndrome. This ghost attacks your identity. As you walk into this new timeline, you will feel like a fraud. You will look at the new opportunities opening up and think, I am not qualified for this. They are going to find out I am faking it. I am just a broken person pretending to be a giant. This feeling of being small is actually a good sign. It means you have entered a room that is bigger than your ego. If you felt completely comfortable, you would still be in the old timeline. The vertigo you feel is the sensation of rapid altitude change. The enemy wants you to shrink back. He wants you to decline the opportunity because you feel unworthy. He is trying to use your humility against you. Here is how you fight this ghost. You anchor your identity. In your mind, visualize yourself standing not on your own achievements, but on a rock. That rock is the finished work of God. You are not here because you are smart. You are here because you were chosen. The choice was His, not yours. To reject the opportunity because you feel unworthy is to insult the one who chose you. Say this in your spirit: I am not an imposter. I am an ambassador. An ambassador does not need to be rich or powerful on his own. He just needs to represent a king who is. I am here on business for the king. You have identified and neutralized the first four ghosts: the guilt, the zombie, the glitch, and the imposter. You are holding your ground. You are keeping the door of your shader shut. But the enemy is not done. These first four were just the infantry. They were loud, obvious distractions meant to wear down your defenses. But now, the atmosphere is changing again. The attacks are becoming less obvious and more seductive. The next ghosts are not trying to scare you, they are trying to deceive you. And behind them, moving in the shadows, is the seventh ghost, the assassin that waits until you think you have won the war. 90% of chosen ones survive the first four, but they fall to the seventh. You need to know what is coming next. Duidaila noi dung asterisk asterisk. Part 6. The stabilization asterisk asterisk. Duk viet noi tiplin much voifon trok. Tuan thu nghiêm ngặt quai tak ding dang strict clean voiceover. Thonai hoantat dang sach. 7 ke thu voi bung ma. No hiem nut. Kung kup bang chung tuk te. Batrien sang gai. Tuan tang tok. Acceleration, Vaikainium, Shalom, Trong Joel, 225. Text. The fifth and sixth forms of rejection are quick, sharp, and physical. The fifth form is the golden distraction. The enemy will send an opportunity that looks like a blessing but is actually a detour. It will be a job offer that pays well, but requires you to work on Sundays during your prayer time. It will be a compromise that looks like a shortcut. The sixth form is the body blow. Just as you start to gain momentum, you will catch a sudden flu, or your back will go out, or a mysterious fatigue will hit. This is the enemy trying to break your physical vessel because he cannot break your spirit. But you can handle those. You can say no to the distraction. You can pray through the sickness. Those are obvious attacks. The seventh form is the assassin. It is the one that kills the most chosen ones. It is called the false peace. After you survive the guilt, the zombies, the financial glitches, and the body blows, suddenly everything stops. The attacks cease. The phone stops ringing. The bills stop coming. The atmosphere becomes quiet. and comfortable, you take a deep breath and think, "Finally, I made it. I have won the war. I can relax now." That is the trap. You have not entered the promised land. You have entered the poppy field. The enemy has stopped attacking you because he wants you to fall asleep. He knows that if he fights you, you will fight back and grow stronger. But if he gives you a false sense of comfort, you will settle. You will stop pushing. You will stop waking up early to pray. You will stop sharpening your sword. You will mistake the absence of war for the presence of destiny. This is not peace. This is stagnation. It is a spiritual coma. Let me tell you about a man named Michael. He was a chosen one, just like you. He went through the timeline surgery. He cut off the toxic friends. He survived the financial panic. He reached this stage, the stage of false peace. He got a decent job, found a nice apartment, and things got quiet. He thought, "This is it. This is the blessing." So he stopped the protocols. He stopped the 24-hour static. He stopped pressing into God. 3 years later, Michael was still in that same decent job, in that same nice apartment, completely miserable. He had not lost his salvation, but he had lost his destiny. He had settled for good enough and missed the great. The false peace had lulled him into a coma, and he slept through his window of opportunity. He realized too late that God did not save him just to make him comfortable. God saved him to make him dangerous. Do not accept the lullaby. If you feel a peace that makes you passive, rebuke it. Real peace, God's peace, makes you active. It gives you energy. It is a peace that makes you run, not sleep. You have identified the ghosts. You have rejected the rejection. Now, the atmosphere shifts again. We are moving from defense to offense. You have stabilized the timeline. Now you must accelerate it. You are probably thinking, "I have lost so much time. I wasted years in that toxic relationship. I wasted years in that dead-end job. How can I ever catch up?" You do not need to catch up. You are about to experience the velocity shift. This is based on the spiritual law of restoration found in Joel chapter 2, verse 25. God says, "I will restore to you the years that the swarming locust has eaten." The English word restore is too weak here. It sounds like God is just going to give you back what you lost. If you lost $10, He gives you $10. That is not restoration. That is reimbursement. The Hebrew word used in this verse is shalom. Shalom does not just mean to pay back. It means to make whole, to complete, and most importantly, to finish. Implicit in shalom is the concept of acceleration. When God restores time, He does not turn back the clock. He speeds up the harvest. Think of a slingshot. When you were in your old timeline, going through all that pain, all that delay, and all that resistance, you felt like you were being pulled backward. You felt like you were losing ground. You were, but you were not just moving backward. You were being loaded. The tension was building. The further back you were pulled, the more potential energy was stored in your spirit. The surgery you just went through was God cutting the string that held you back. Now, according to the laws of physics, you are not going to move forward at a normal pace. You are going to be propelled. You are going to cover 10 years of ground in 10 months. You are going to accomplish things in this next season that should have taken a lifetime. I want you to engage this shift with a mental action. Do not move. Just visualize yourself as that stone in the slingshot. Feel the tension of your past, all the tears, all the delays, all the frustration. Feel it pulling you back tight. Now, in your mind, hear the sound of the snap. See yourself launching forward. You are blurring past the people who doubted you. You are blurring past your own expectations. You are not walking into your future. You are colliding with it. Type "I am accelerating" in the comments to agree with this physics. Do not type it if you want a slow life. Only type it if you are ready for the G-force of Shalom. You are flying now. The stabilization is done. The ghosts are behind you. The velocity is increasing. You are rushing toward the seal of your destiny. But listen to me, and listen carefully. You are moving at light speed now, but there is one final life or death rule that applies when you are moving this fast. It is a rule written in the book of Genesis, and it is the only thing that can stop you at this point. If you violate this rule for even 1 second, you will not just crash, you will turn to stone. The rule is written in Genesis chapter 19, verse 26. It is the story of Lot's wife. You know the story. God sent angels to rescue her family from the destruction of Sodom. The command was simple: run for your life. Do not look back. But as the fire fell, she looked back, and she became a pillar of salt. We have read this as a story about disobedience, but it is actually a story about physics. Why salt? Why not stone? Why not dust? Because salt is a preservative. In the ancient world, salt was used to keep things from rotting. It was used to keep dead things looking like they were still alive. Lot's wife did not just glance over her shoulder out of curiosity. She looked back with longing. In her heart, she wanted to preserve the life she was leaving. She wanted to keep the connection to the old city alive. And because she tried to preserve what God was destroying, she became the very embodiment of preservation. She became a statue, frozen, stagnant, dead. This is the warning for your velocity shift. You are moving fast now. The new timeline is rushing toward you. But if you turn your head for 1 second to romanticize the past, if you try to preserve the relationship God severed, if you try to keep the old habits alive because you miss the flavor of them, you will stop the acceleration instantly. You will not just lose momentum. You will calcify. You will become a monument to what could have been. You cannot drag a dead corpse into a living future. If you try, the dead thing will not come back to life, but the living thing, you will die. So, eyes front. The destruction behind you is not your concern. The bridges burning behind you are lighting your way forward. Let them burn. Chosen one. Look at where you stand. Look at what you have survived in the last hour. You felt the symptoms of the Chronos interruption. You survived the divine surgery. You implemented the 24-hour static protocol. You exposed the spy in your memory. You fought off the 7 ghosts of rejection. You rejected the false peace. You are no longer the confused, exhausted person who clicked on this message. You are battle-tested. You are stripped of the weight. You are streamlined for glory. You are ready. We are about to seal this. This is not a YouTube video anymore. This is a holy ground. I am about to speak a prayer of sealing over your life. This is an activation ceremony. When I speak these words, they are not just sounds, they are legal decrees in the spirit realm. We are going to lock the door of your new timeline so the enemy cannot pick the lock. I need you to engage your spirit fully. If you can, stand up. If you cannot stand, sit up straight. Place your right hand over your heart. This is the hand of authority. Close your eyes to the physical world and open them to the spiritual reality. Focus on the beating of your heart. That rhythm is the drumbeat of a survivor. Feel it. Now, receive the seal. In the name that is above every name, the author of time and the finisher of faith, I call this meeting of the Spirit to order. The heavens are open. The court is in session. We stand now in the presence of the witnesses of glory to transact the destiny of this chosen one. Father, I acknowledge the surgery. I acknowledge the pain this chosen one has endured. I honor the tears they cried in secret when you were cutting away the old life. They did not run from the knife. They stood still. They trusted you with the severance. Lord, look at their scars. Let those scars testify that they are ready for the weight of the glory to come. They have paid the price of the crushing. Now give them the oil of the anointing. I hereby seal the Chronos interruption. I declare that the 2-hour pause was not in vain. The timeline has been shifted. The tracks have been switched. I decree that the train of their destiny is now running on the rails of breakthrough, and it shall not be derailed. I seal the 24-hour static protocol. I plead the blood of protection over their mind, their eyes, and their mouth. I bind the spirit of chatter. I bind the spirit of distraction. I declare a holy silence around them that no demon can penetrate. I now turn to face the enemies of this chosen one. I speak to the 7 ghosts of rejection. I speak to the sudden guilt. I speak to the zombie relationships. I speak to the financial glitch. I speak to the imposter syndrome. I speak to the false peace. By the authority of the kingdom, I bind you. You have no legal right to this new timeline. The contract was cancelled during the surgery. You are trespassing. I command you to take your hands off their mind. Take your hands off their money. Take your hands off their family. Go back to the dry places. This territory is occupied by the spirit of the living God. I specifically bind the spirit of Lot's wife. I break the power of nostalgia. I break the soul ties to the Egypt they left behind. I declare that this chosen one loses the taste for the onions and garlic of the past. Give them a hunger for the manna of the future. Now, I release the prophetic velocity. I activate the law of Shalom. I declare Joel chapter 2, verse 25 over this life. For every year the locust ate, I decree a year of double harvest. For every tear that was sown, I decree a sheaf of joy. I declare acceleration. Things that used to take 10 years will now take 10 months. Projects that were stuck are now unstuck. Phone calls that were blocked are now coming through. The resources are not coming, they are here. The favor is not coming, it is here. The open door is not in the future, you are standing in the threshold right now. Chosen one, I commission you. You are no longer a victim of your history. You are the architect of your future. You are the head and not the tail. You are above and not beneath. You are dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. Do you receive this seal? Is your spirit in agreement with this decree? If you are ready to walk in this new timeline, if you are ready to never look back, I want you to confirm it. Open your mouth and say, yes. Say it loud enough for your own ears to hear. Yes. It is done. The timeline is locked. The surgery is healed. The future is now. You are dismissed from the wilderness. Walk in your power.